I'm AJ Warner. I'm out here in Austin, Texas. Let me share my screen here. You on this. Not sure from the beginning. All right. So basically what I'll be talking to you guys about is kind of my unorthodox journey to becoming a sports physical therapist and what that may mean for y'all. So let's get into it. It works. There we go. So I graduated from the University of St. Augustine for Health Sciences in Florida, in St. Augustine, Florida, in December 2022. So pretty recent, honestly. Like many others watching, I entered physical therapy school with the hope of really working in pro sports. And I know a lot of you are like that. So fueled by kind of my dream of engaging with high-level athletes. However, I quickly realized that I had a limited understanding of what that really meant, right? You think it's just this cool thing where you get to work with people you see on TV and be able to play catch with them and do stuff like that. But still, I was pretty determined on making connections with professionals in my field when I got into school. So I reached out to individuals through like LinkedIn, cold emails, really to gain insight into their own experiences. To enhance my knowledge and skills, I obtained my strength and conditioning certification while in school. And I also volunteered as a strength coach at one of the local universities by my school. This was all really while I was going through it during COVID. I don't recommend any of you guys doing that. And it severely limited kind of my internship opportunities in the sport performance rehab realm. Really during that time, it was really impossible to secure a position in any sort of sports performance, sports setting at all. But really, fortunately, I was given an incredible opportunity and blessed during my final clinical internship to work alongside the Jacksonville Jaguars for an entire season. This experience really allowed me to witness firsthand what it means to be a sports performance therapist for a professional team, right? One of the most really cool, remarkable aspects of this internship was being able to really watch how my clinical instructor collaborated with athletic trainers, strength coaches, sports scientists, all to monitor rehab, general rehabilitation, and enhance the overall performance of their athletes, right? Because this is their job. Their body is their job, and they have to go out there perform every Sunday, or else, unless you're one of those big contract players, you're cut. This integration that I saw really remains a guiding principle on how I approach athletic rehab and performance to right now. After graduation, I found myself kind of uncertain about what I wanted to do next. The Jags weren't exactly hiring a new grad at the time. So I had to figure out what I wanted to do. And I thought pursuing a residency program, as I felt that school equipped me to pass the NPTE, it hadn't really prepared me to be that fully effective physical therapist or the sport performance therapist that I saw for the Jaguars. Moreover, I aspired to become kind of a knowledgeable expert in the sport physical therapy realm, and I thought going and doing a residency was an ideal choice in kind of jumping my skills and understanding to that next level. My CI with the Jaguars actually offered super, super, super awesome advice for me. And not just the Jaguars, but one of my clinicals before that as well. But he really told me to master the fundamentals of rehab, right? Hone in on those, your anatomy, your biomechanics, your manual therapy skills, those soft skills, and learning to collaborate with surgeons, with athletic trainers and things like that. He told me his own time while he was a newer grad and working in the clinic was where he really shaped all of those skills he uses today with the team. And he emphasized kind of the importance of solid foundation in strength and conditioning principles as well, integrating aspects of sports science later into his practice, into my practice. With that in mind, I sought a program that would foster growth in these areas, and I found my way to Texas physical therapy specialists in Austin. Part of the reason I enrolled in orthopedic residency and not a sport I felt I was allowed to become a well-rounded clinician while also nurturing my passion for treating athletes. So part of the reason too, I chose that residency is because of my mentorship that I got and kind of what they were going to team me up and do. Now, throughout my residency, I regularly engaged with my mentor who has an extensive background in sports as an ex-professional soccer player, an ex-pro CrossFitter, and a high-level powerlifter. Her expertise was super, super important, super instrumental. As we discussed rehab strategies for athletes, as I started getting more of those, and again, not just athletes, but building my foundations with your gen pop population, because you can find that a lot of those people can be a lot more complicated than treating, a 16-year-old or a pro coming home from the season for some of their tendonitis or something like that. She helped me connect with local athletic trainers and coaches, leading to opportunities where I was able to actually assist in the training room during my residency and I also provided live game coverage. I was able to also build strong relationships with super prominent sports surgeons in the area, which proved way more beneficial than anything else for my practice and hands-on with athletics and athletes and treating athletes. As I progressed through kind of the orthopedic residency, I found my focus organically transitioning to sport rehab. The athletes I encountered in the training room or from recommendations of the surgeons that, those relationships I made were able to, come see me in the clinic. And it's really just because of those relationships, the trust I gained from all those professionals, which allowed me to continue their treatment, and I could collaborate with my mentors further. So that kind of brings me up to today. Today I serve as a rehab consultant for 2 different 6A high schools, and then a local university where I also assist with their strength and conditioning programming. And doesn't really just stop there. Like I have relationships with other colleges, with other high schools, the local semi-pro soccer team. And again, that's all just building relationships and trust. It's not anything more than that. And I continue to strengthen my relationships with sports surgeons, athletic trainers, strength coaches in the area, some of the performance gyms, to kind of create learning opportunities for future residents. Some of you may be interested in doing a sport or an ortho kind of sport bridge that I did. And with the sport and venue coverage that I've provided in the last year and a half, I'm actually also able to sit for my sports specialty exam only a year after gaining my orthopedic clinical specialist title. After that, I'm also involved in teaching teaching biomechanics at the University of St. Augustine in Austin. Who would have thought? Full circle moment coming back to school. Since graduation, I've really worn many hats. I strive to emulate the collaborative approach observed in the Jaguars performance team, and this kind of involves creating, an environment where working or rehab work integrates seamlessly among professionals, free from any egos and barriers. Because that's one of the biggest things in sports, right? You gotta navigate some of these people's egos where they've been there forever, and you have to be able to work with them, and that includes, surgeons, coaches, all the things. But really being able to collaborate with everybody in a shared commitment to continue to learn and, for the benefit of our patients. Really, I don't consider myself an expert in sports rehab. I'm really far from it. I'm so fresh out, I feel like. I aspire to be, to follow in the footsteps of greats like Kevin Wilk, my CI, guys like Jess Ellis, my own mentor. She's one of the smartest people I know. I'm just really here sharing my experiences in the hopes of, illustrating an alternate path to becoming a sports physical therapist, outside of just I have to work for a team or I have to do a sport residency at a big school. It really comes down to, no matter your situation or environment, if you have a desire or a passion to work with athletes, you got to know that you can make that happen. It's not only about collaborating with individuals in sports, performing flashy exercises you might see on social media. Don't even get me started on that soapbox. It requires dedication to mastering the basics, putting in extra hours outside of work, fostering trust with the sports medicine community. Um, Being a sports resident, pursuing a hybrid ortho sport residency like I did does not guarantee you work with athletes. It's really essential to be willing to go that extra mile, genuinely care for each individual you see in front of you, whether that's an athlete or not, right? Um, but just know that it is extra work, right? So it's demanding. It's a demanding field working with athletes, but if you're prepared to take that leap, like that's why I had this conversation. I'm here. I'm here to support your journey, and that's why I put up my email here. If you guys have any questions or would like to talk further, where I can get into some specifics on stuff, feel free reach out to my email.